Actually, that serves as a reminder for me later on this afternoon to check mine. And Shay's as well, because if you don't tell her to do something on her bike or clean a chain or something, she'll leave it. She won't, and then she's one of those sort of people whereby if something does go wrong, you get on the bike, you hear a squeaking or some noises or something. She's like, oh, it's alright, leave it, it's fine, it's fine. No, it's not. Well, it's like living in denial. I would always tell people to, like now, recently, I would tell them to take a look at what Shaylin has to say about riding. When I asked her what's her key piece of advice, and she did say, fear locks you up. Fear is a terrible thing to have, like, sort of like surrounding you when you're riding or throughout your riding career. You've got to like not be afraid. You've got to be able to rise above that. You know, back in September, somebody pulled out in front of her, and she got into a collision, and it was totally the other driver's fault. But within a few weeks, she was back on the bike saying, "This is not going to stop me." Yeah. And you know, you've got to give her a round of applause for that.
Yeah. I mean, what she said in that video was kind of, you know, one thing I kind of wanted to touch upon in this video, which is, you know, the confidence and the safety and all that being on the bike. But again, just repeating what you said, I absolutely commend her for that sort of attitude towards riding, because when I was her age, I wouldn't have even thought about getting on a bike, getting behind the wheel, because I was scared stiff. And here we have this young lady on your side of the pond who's just put her foot down and said, no, you are not going to stop me, I am going to do this, you are not going to ruin my experience, my life. And for that, I give her a round of applause, but at the moment I'm currently in control of the motor vehicle, so yeah,
I'll do it for you.
Yeah, it's you know, I'm at a loss for words. It happens on occasion, but when I was watching that, I thought, holy crap, this young lady has got absolute courage, and I look up to her, and I think that lass, she's a biker through and through.
Oh yeah. Well, she's more of a biker than I am, because, you know, my bike is for nice days and weekends and things like that. Otherwise, you know, me and her mum, we both work in the same place, and so mostly we drive to work. This girl gets up and rides her bike, and no matter what the weather, whether it's raining or snowing, she's on that bike. And and there's one video that makes me laugh. It's her screaming blue murder because it was so cold. She just, oh my god!
Was that the ride to school?
Yes.
That's the one. Yeah. Like I said, you know, it's like through the winter, through the rain, through the sunshine, through snot on her visor, she rides through it all.
Yeah, she does. And so, I mean, that qualifies her that qualifies Shay to be a biker in more of a way than I could ever hope to be in this today, you know.
Yeah.
Even though my experience and, you know, riding for like so many years, both here and in England, you know, I've got more experience. She's more of a biker, and she's catching up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny really, because she's riding around on a motorcycle where in England it would be illegal for her to ride. She's 17, so she'd only have like an A2 license, or she couldn't ride anything more than a 250 or something at 17.
It's 125s.
Yeah.
So 125 cc's, and then I think it's at the age of 24 you can then move up, do your full license.
Yes.
Get a bit faster, and then you can jump on pretty enough anything you want.
Now the thing is that I do actually agree with the British licensing laws. You know, to keep boy racers off. You know, there are plenty of YouTube videos, and there are plenty of websites that tell you about the person who just passed their test and on their little 125 or their little 250 and the
Yeah.
next thing they know, they go off and buy a GSX 1100 and kill themselves in the first week.
Yeah.
And so I actually do agree with like having incremental upgrade. Obviously the criticism would be there, well, your daughter went from a 250 to a 650, you know.
Yeah.
And but I would contend that, you know, throughout her entire riding career, she's been with us. She hasn't just been out there on her own, learning it her way. She's been coached and guided through the Bluetooth connection with me and her mum, constantly.
That is the important thing. She has been taught, she has been guided, and she has been, I would say, corrected where, you know, where needed. But she's had that all the way through, as opposed to someone who's, say, just passed their test and thought, fantastic, I'm going to get an 1100 and go ride it at 75 miles an hour up a 30 zone or something.
But there is another thing, actually, it sort of reminded me a little bit of another sort of danger that people have to sort of be aware of. Now, we've all met them before, the middle-aged fellow who, you know, back 20 years ago had a motorcycle license and was pottering around on his, you know, his old 1972 Triumph Bonneville, and, you know, and now he wants to get back into motorcycles and believes that he's still got all the experience and the ability to jump back onto a bike, and it makes no difference, he'll be just as good as he was 20 or 30 years ago when he first started riding.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, as you go a period of time without riding, you do lose an ability, or you do use experience points even. And so there's a lot, especially here in this country, there's a lot of, like, you know, middle-aged people who want to get back into motorcycles. They go down to the dealership and buy like the biggest and most powerful, expensive motorcycle, thinking that it's all good. The experience is transferable from year to year when it's not.
There are riding schools which will give you the one-day training, just the refresher course, just to get you back on the bike, to get you comfortable again, and you know, seated, planted on the bike. And, you know, I'll just say that's always worth doing. If you've taken a few years off or something, then I know it's extra money to spend, but extra money to spend is going to be things that you don't remember how to do, or it's going to be things that they're going to show you and you're going to think, oh yeah, I remember that, or I've never been taught that before. So it's always, you know, different riders, different mentors will give you different advice in different situations, but 9 out of 10 times it's going to be absolutely bang on, and it's going to help you ride. And if it stops you from coming off your bike, then who's going to complain? You know, what's it worth? What's it worth spending £65 on if it saves your life one day, you know?
Exactly. In fact, I've been thinking very seriously of like doing one of those intermediate courses, or even like the advanced courses. But, you know, I'm not too proud to learn something, and that's one of the things that you do have to be careful of with experience, and that's pride. People saying, oh, I know it already, I learned it. Well, you learned it, but in the wrong way, or you're doing the wrong thing about it. Take a course, learn something that you may already know, but what harm does it do to get somebody's opinion about it?
If you buy a new bike, or if you've had your bike for a few months now, can you do a figure of 8 on it? Can you do a slalom course? You know, can you keep control of it? If the answer's maybe or no, then, you know, just swallow the pride. You know, take the kick up the arse or something, and just say, all right, well, I'm going to take the time, and I'm going to spend a bit of money to make sure I find someone who can help me with my bike. Because chances are, my old instructor, he absolutely adores cruisers. So I went back to him and I said, look, I've got this brand spanking new cruiser. It's different from the bike that I've learnt to ride on, so what can you show me? What can you teach me? And the best bit of advice that he gave me is, when trying to do a U-turn, obviously cruisers, U-turns go together like bloody, you know, matchsticks and firewood, really. It's only going to end in tears. But yeah, he said, one of the simplest things, just shift your bum over, shift your weight, and then you've got all that extra leaning power. Because if you just simply try to turn the bike while the wheels are perfectly flat, you're only going to be doing this, as opposed to getting that wheel tilted, and you get so much more turning power out of that.
Yeah.
So
I can do you one better on that for figure eights and things like that. If where possible, if you ever see any of these competitions where people do these like amazing maneuvers on motorcycles, you'll notice one thing: they all sit forward on the motorcycle. They almost sit on the tank.
That's it. Yeah.
And they do their maneuvers by just kind of being upright, but so much in the middle, almost like they're riding a unicycle on the front wheel. They sit as far forward as they can. They've got much more control, and it's more direct to the front wheel. I saw that. I just saw it. I didn't mean to interrupt you on that one, but I thought there was such a great interjection there.
That is bang on advice. I love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you very much for that. Because there's one thing which my instructor also said, you know, I want to see your balls on the tank. I thought, well, why? And even just changing position now, I have my arse is right back on the seat. But even now, I have significantly more control over what I'm doing with the bike. I can tilt it, I can do all kinds of silly stuff with it. I'm not going to, because I'm a responsible rider, and I hope you are too. But for comfort purposes, I sit back on the seat, because it stops my arse from aching after half an hour riding.
Oh yeah. Yeah, obviously sit forward if you're going to do a manoeuvre, sit back and relax if you're just going to be riding normally.
So if you've got the space, if you've got the manoeuvrability, then by all means use it. If it gets you out of a tight spot, fantastic. Come back and tell us about it. But yeah, it's all good to know. It's all good knowledge. And you know, maybe you've learned something out of this video, maybe you haven't. Maybe you've got something to add. By all means, chuck it down in the comments below. And you know, we often go back on the comments, go through them. We give a good. I'll get my words out in a minute. God. We give people likes, we respond to them, we love comments, we absolutely adore it. And I think one great thing about YouTube at the moment is, we are a very sort of small channel, each of us. And I know Cockney's well on his way to, tipping next to 900 or 1,000 subscribers now, you lucky bastard. But, I'm sitting on about, what, 650, 670 was it, I think?
You were at 670.
No, fantastic, yeah. Yeah, but yeah, and we have this lovely little community, this lovely little group of people who keep coming back and watching our videos, and we get the randoms every now and then. But to have people that come back and watch our stuff and leave such positive comments, such positivity in the comment section, you go to more known people and there's always hate this, or screw you this, or you're doing that wrong, and it helps nobody. And I think we can both personally be very thankful and respectful to the people that we don't have to deal with that kind of negativity on our channels yet, and we hope we never do.
Well, I'll tell you, I love my subscribers. I get so many amazing, fantastic comments, and I like doing the occasional shout out to like a person who makes a comment that absolutely moves us. I love getting comments, and I've always prided myself on responding to comments, making sure, at least even if it's just a couple of words, if you leave something, you say something, then I am going to give you a couple of words in reply. I'm going to say hello back to you. I'm not going to ignore you. Like I said, I get some amazing subscribers, amazing comments, and sometimes I get critics, but you know what? I am always open to criticism, and I always respond to them.
Should we wrap up?
Yeah, absolutely.
The back wheel, I think, is actually deflating a little bit again. So
oh, really?
I think I've got a puncture. Yay! I can feel it being a little bit sluggish again. So yeah, I'm already halfway home. What I will say is, well, Cockney, thank you very much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure as always.
It's been my honour.
Ah, feel the love. And to all you people watching the video, if you're still watching, thank you very much.
And for everyone watching, Yeah, and just following up on that for everyone watching, thank you all so much for joining us today on this little run. And all I can say for myself is, as I always say, laters!
Hey, one thing I will actually add before I go is, you know, if you found the tips and the advice that we've given you, if you can take anything away from this video and sort of learn upon that, then by all means, like I said, pop a comment down below, let us know if we help you, because it's always nice to hear from people. And have a bloody good day, and most importantly, ride safe, ride safe. Oh my god, ride safe. And,
yeah, I second that.
As always, ta for now.
And scene.
And scene, yep.